Hi there, Evan here at the Chronicle for Tuesday, February 11th, 2020, where that future starts today. First topic I'm going to cover, Hoyes Michaelis put out the Debtor Survey yesterday for 2019, which essentially lays the groundwork for the average person that files an insolvency. I'm going to go over some of the key points within it, give my thoughts. I myself even found some of this data rather astonishing, and I'm one of the biggest bears out there. Now before I get into it, they did have a little blurb here on credit card debt, how it's no longer the primary debt within consumer insolvencies. Now I should make note here. One of the first signs households were in trouble, one of the first signs households were starting to default on their massive debt loads, was credit card delinquencies picking up in the early part of 2018. So keep that in mind. But let's get into the rest of it here. Instead, we see a continuing rise in the use of payday or fast cash loans, high-cost financing loans, student debt, and vehicle financing. In 2019, 39% of insolvent debtors carried at least one payday loan, up from 37% in 2018, and average payday loan debt amongst payday loan borrowers was up 11.3% year over year. Now myself, that's the first data point I found rather shocking. 39% of insolvent debtors carried at least one payday loan. But again, is it shocking? Not at all. Remember my scale of how people start feeling the pain from excessive debt loads. Credit cards, consumer loans, their car, their house. Where does a payday loan lie? Right above credit cards. An astonishing number? Absolutely. Can't deny that. But is it shocking? Not at all. If you follow this channel for the past 2 years, it's playing out exactly the way it should. Here's another point. 2 in 5 debtors, 40.4%, had a secured car loan at the time of filing, compared to 38.2% in 2018. 11.4% had a shortfall on a vehicle loan, up from 10.2% in 2018. Now again, this shouldn't be a shock to anybody. How I've laid it out for the past 2 years, how this debt bubble unwind is going to work. It's going to start with credit cards, then go to bigger consumer loans, then go to car loans, then go to your home. And payday loans, which I mentioned previously, fall right into that bigger consumer loan category. Right above that is your car. Think about it. For a vast majority of people, it's their main method of transportation on how they get to work every day above all else. And essentially, it's a big part of their livelihood because of that. Now, they also got a bit of a blurb here on student loans, which I won't get too much into. But here's the most shocking part to the entire study. Household income rose 5.5% for the average insolvent debtor in 2019, the third consecutive year of income growth. The median income for an insolvent debtor increased by 5.8% to $2,883 in 2019, and in 2019, 23% of insolvencies involved households with an average household income above $4,000, up from 20% in 2018. Now here's the most shocking part about this. This is what really got to me. All this is happening. Meanwhile, we haven't seen a big unemployment spike yet, which we're starting to see now. These 2019 numbers are going to look like child's play in comparison to what you're going to see in 2020 once an unemployment spike is built into all this. Median incomes were up close to 6% in 2019. Meanwhile, we still saw insolvency spikes. And all this happened as rates went down. Let that sink in for a second. Build in some unemployment on this? These numbers here are going to look like child's play. That's all there is to it. And another thing to watch for 2020, in their prediction video on the Debt Free in 30 podcast at the end of last year, they predicted in 2020 that homeowners are going to start getting into financial trouble. That, I 100% agree with. Again, link to that video will be in the description, and a link to the entire Debtor Survey will be in the description also. And the last story I'm going to cover today, the US job market is so strong that job openings for January fell to a 2-year low. I repeat, the US job market is so strong that job openings in January fell to a 2-year low. And to further add to this point, here's some more data that Eric Basmajian over at EPB Macro posted on Twitter following the jobs report release on Friday. Here's the rate of change for manufacturing jobs year over year. Again, still trending down, in fact about to go negative. Rate of change in construction jobs year over year. Still trending down, now below 2% year over year. And the last chart I'm going to show, this is transportation equipment and motor vehicles year over year. We had a bit of a bump a few months ago from the end of the GM strike, but in January, it reaccelerated to the downside. And again, as I posted on Twitter this morning, the employment data is telling us that we're already in a recession, we just don't know it yet. And look at the yield curve. It showed the inversion signal that I looked for in the third quarter of 2019. Now this. Folks, that's the best place to go ahead and leave it. Smash that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, follow both my accounts on Twitter, and as always, my name is Evan. This is the Macronicle, where the future starts today.